Hello, we're now in Unit 3. Finally got to Unit 3. We're going to talk about a verb, a different kind of verb, not to be. Finally we come to what some people call the significant verb. Look at it for me. We will always use this verb very much like the verb to be was used. We will have a simple affirmative sentence that starts with a subject, and then we use the verb, and then we use the complement. But we're going to learn something different. We're going to learn that when we ask the question, we're going to use an auxiliary verb. I'll teach you this in just a minute. Plus the subject, plus the verb, plus the complement. Look at the columns, they're all together. We're going to talk about the simple present tense. Simple? Yes. Present? Right now. Tense? That's a grammatical term that we use for times of verbs. What does it express? Truth, something that is true in general. Give you an example here. Birds fly. They really do. Birds fly. And we also talk about habitual actions. I swim. Notice, I'm not talking about when I am swimming. I'm talking about the fact that I swim. I ride a bicycle. I read a book. I read Portuguese. These are habitual actions. I do them all the time. Now, how do we conjugate this verb? Remember, we have three-person singular and three-person plural. Very simple. To conjugate a simple present tense verb, we take the infinitive and take off the to and repeat the verb 6 times, and we add something to the third-person singular. Watch this. We'll take my favorite verb, to work. We'll kill the to. It's gone. We'll repeat the verb 6 times. This gets tiring. But we're going to add an S here. That's because it's the third person singular. Joe, I thought S was for plurals. Well, S is for plurals of nouns, but for verbs, they are what? They are the indicative of the third person singular. So this is I work, you work, he, she, it works, we work, you work, they work. This is a conjugation of the verb to work. Very simple. Look at this. I work, you work, he works, we work, you work, they work. Don't forget, this is the sound you must remember. It says third person singular. Don't forget how to translate this. Eu, tu, ele trabalha. Okay? Here we are. Now, we have to ask questions with this verb, and this becomes something very important. To do that, we need to use an auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb. I think that's right. Yeah. And the verb is the verb to do. Now, it is also a verb. So what do? We take the to off the infinitive. We repeat the verb 6 times. And here, instead of adding an S, we add an ES. ES. Say with me, do, does. Não é dois, não. Does. Do, do, do. Do, does, do. Okay. Here is where we're going to use it. Can I erase the board for a minute? Look here. I work. Subject, verb. I'm not going to use the complement now. I work every day. Todos os dias. Now I have to ask the question. Do I work every day? Why do I use do here? Because it's the first person singular. He, let's make a she, works at night, à noite. How do I ask the question? Does she work at night? But Joe, what happened to the S? Ha ha! Guess what? It's there. Let me teach you something. I have to teach it in Portuguese because I don't know it in English. Will you take that? O verbo auxiliado não é conjugado. Repeat. O verbo auxiliado não é conjugado. Is there an auxiliary verb here? Yes. So we do not put the S there. Just don't do it. We take the S off. She works, no auxiliary. Does she work? Auxiliary. We take the S off. No problem here, but does he read? Auxiliary, take the S off. He reads. Declaration, simple declaration. He reads. We have to have the S. So remember, we have to say, I work, you work, he works. But what happens if you have a verb that ends in CH or X or Z? Let's give an example. He watches. Observa. We add the ES instead of the S. Why?